Welcome to this week's Coffee and Conversation. And the reality is, if you want to turn your troubled marriage around, you've got to be willing to do this. And a lot of guys have a hang up with this, but let's lay the groundwork. I want space. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I want a separation. I want a divorce. And what happens is men want to cling so tightly to preventing the end of that marriage, which version 1.0, which was disconnected, probably not very intimate or loving. They're so focused on holding on to that to avoid divorce that they don't allow the space for them to grow and change and create a version 2.0 relationship. So one of the biggest stumbling blocks for men is their refusal to be willing to divorce. See this a lot in the religious ones especially, but with others too. They're not willing to divorce. And I'm not saying you should jump to divorce, but marriage 1.0 isn't working and it's dead. Was on life support for a minimum of 2, maybe as many as 10 years. Most guys, when I ask them, they're like, I'm not exactly happy. It feels like we're roommates, just going through the motions. But for some reason, they don't want to consider divorce. And divorce isn't where we go first. But 1.0 must be thrown by the wayside and allowed to die if you're going to create a version 2.0 loving, connected, and deeply intimate relationship with your partner. One where there's laughter. You have each other's back. You enjoy each other's company. And it sounds contradictory. A lot of what actually works is very contradictory to average advice. But you got to get a little selfish. You have to be the change you want to see in the relationship, and you have to be willing to let go of the old marriage. And that means you're not one of those guys who, well, I'm not going to get divorced. Well, first off, she can divorce you, but that doesn't allow for the mindset and the heart set change needed to create, grow, and have a version 2.0 relationship either with the woman you're married to or with somebody else eventually. So guys, keep in mind, this is about leveling up, becoming heart-focused instead of logical, not fearing divorce, but you've been given your wake-up call. You've probably missed hints and signals along the way. It's not on you. They shouldn't have given hints and signals because the women actually, contrary to popular belief, are often horrible communicators. But if you look at modern society, they say just because women talk a lot more that they're excellent communicators. They're not. And we're not mind readers. And you probably wrote it off as it's just a phase. Oh, this will change once the kids are out of the house. If you have that kind of mindset, it'll be too late. So if you're struggling in a relationship and you want to know how to turn around, come join us at Mentoring Men. We've got tons of free resources with basic membership. We have over 20 group coaching sessions a month where we actually talk about more than football and weather, where we talk about deep issues, and there's connection and brotherhood. And the men that do this, by being selfish, by focusing on themselves, by becoming open-hearted and leveling up, often take and notice that the marriage that was unacceptable to them has died off, and they've created something that is acceptable to both themselves and their wife. So, brother, it's time to say, hey, this isn't working. You need to be willing to let go of version 1.0. You need to be willing to divorce if that's appropriate. But that should be your last option after you work on yourself and lead the change you want to see in your relationship. We'll help you with that at Mentoring Men. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.